How's it going, everyone? Namaste. Welcome to another video with me and Dido. You can't see Dido, but I'm petting her. I just wanted to give an update on me. Let's see, it's August. Dang. It's Friday, August 5th, 2022. Pretty soon August is going to be done and my 3-month sabbatical from my journal will be over and I'll start writing in my journal again in just a few weeks. Kind of crazy to think about. I have a lot I'm going to write about when I start writing again. It's been a very adventurous last few months. 3 months ago, I was in tears. I was in tears and struggling from the end of my last relationship this year. Just a few months ago, 3 months ago. And now I'm in a much better place, a very much better place. And there's a lot of good and interesting and fun things happening in my life. And I wanted to do this video about how trauma and difficult things, which is why I mentioned a few months ago, I've gone from being in tears to being in a very good place. And how did all that happen? How did I get from a broken place? If you go back in my videos and search Jeremy, I love you even when you are broken, you can watch a video of me doing what I don't think many men would be comfortable doing, and that is just crying and releasing emotional pain in front of a camera on a video. I don't think this is something most men would consider masculine or strong, or I think the ego would get in the way of most people doing something like that. And I'm not saying I'm anything special or that I've somehow magically learned to erase my ego. But I've gotten to a place now where I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what perception someone's going to have of me if I cry in a video, for instance, or I share some vulnerable things about my life. I do that because that's my truth. That resonates very strongly within me to just share the truth in me. And my truth is my truth, just for me. It's not some universal truth, but I do think there's a lot of value in being truthful and vulnerable and honest and authentic. And my authenticity is to speak my truth, even when I know it's going to be a little uncomfortable or awkward. And so, this year, that the breakup I had this year was very traumatizing, and it was a breakup that was my choice. And it was still very traumatizing. It took about 3 months. I would say April, May, June-ish. Those 3 months were incredibly difficult. March was difficult. March, April, May, some of June. So about a 3 or 4 month period where I was crushed. I was devastated. I was not sleeping well at night. My heart was racing, but as June came around, early June came around, I started to turn a corner, and I'm in a place now where I sleep like a baby at night. I sleep just fine. I sleep 7 hours straight now on a good, not every night, but most nights. I feel in a very content and peaceful place, and the experience is fading from my kind of frontal memory, or I don't know what to call it, constant memory, to kind of this backup memory location of things that don't cross my mind all the time. Like I've gone almost whole days without even thinking about it. And as time goes on, I will go longer periods of time without thinking about it. All memories I have of my past, like childhood and past relationships, come up every so often. If there was any kind of significant event or happening in my life, it will come up for recollection and processing and kind of maintenance of the memory. I don't know if our brains do that so that we can just do maintenance, like keep the memory there. I don't know what it is. But that trauma, I've had many traumas in my life. A couple just difficult breakups. In 2014, I had a divorce after 14 years. That was tough. My original twin flame videos from 2015 and 2016, that was tough. That breakup with that person. I had a lot of mini breakups over the years, and then the one this year in 2022 was extremely difficult. The trauma from my breakups in my life has made me a better man. I'm not seeking breakups by any stretch of the imagination. I don't recommend people go out and seek breakups to try and get stronger. I'm not saying to do that. But for whatever reason, like, my path in life has created that. It's almost like my higher self knows that. It knew when I got divorced in 2014 and I moved out. Like, I knew internally that the process of dating and trying to meet someone and form a connective relationship would cause me to learn and experience things that would be essential for my growth, and that people who dated me or got in a relationship with me, they would also learn and grow in their own unique way. But the traumas from a severe heartbreak are difficult. They will forge you, though. Like, you will get on the other side of it, and if you use the experience, like every breakup, even the mini ones I've had over the last 8 years, it was always an opportunity to grow and learn and become a better version of myself. And this year's is no exception. Whether you do the breaking up or you get broken up with, it's the exact same protocol. You take the time to grieve, and then you analyze yourself and say, what am I missing? Where am I going wrong in my life? What caused this to happen? And for me, it was adding some new skills to my life with firearms and martial arts and doing yoga regularly to get myself in a place where I feel like a powerful specimen and superhero. And I feel like that now. It's been 3.5 months, coming up on, about 3.5 months since I've been doing martial arts regularly. And it's cool because I can start to do some movements, and I feel fluid, like some of the kicks I'm doing now or some of the movements. It's like I'm just starting to get a grasp of what it would be like to have to use some of these moves. And kicks so far seem to be my favorite thing to do. I enjoy my heavy bag kick workout for an hour when I do it a few times a week. I look forward to it. I'm doing side kicks and roundhouse kicks and frontal kicks and lots of variations of those, and also punching. So in punching, let's see, I don't know if you can see this, but there's some calluses on my knuckles. There's a very visible one right there. I punch the heavy bag with my bare knuckles. And our bodies are just magnificent. They adapt. Like, this callus on my knuckle, this knuckle right here, formed because I was hitting a very hard, not hard, but very rugged surface with my hands. And for the first few weeks, I had bloody knuckles. I'd get done with the workout, I'd have to take a paper towel and wrap up my knuckles, and they'd bleed. But after a few weeks, my body evolved, and these calluses are strong enough to withstand bare knuckle punches on the heavy bag. It's just mysterious how our bodies adapt to trauma. And at least for men, I don't know, I think it's the same for women, but men and women are different. I think men grow from challenge and trauma because we're built to overcome barriers. We're built generally bigger and stronger than women, and so it's more natural for men to, like, in wars, much more men are dying and just things like that. So I think this pressure, this evolutionary pressure or trauma that it's important for a man to grow stronger. I was listening to someone online saying that a man is not a good man unless he's experienced some trauma and some difficult things and overcome it. And I thought about that, and I said, I agree with that. I agree with that. The challenges and the difficulties of the traumas in my life and overcoming them have made me stronger. Like, what if some major problems happen in the world today? Like, lots of things can go wrong. Yeah, it's a pretty good skill to have, to know how to shoot guns, to defend yourself, to have a knowledge of survival, just things like that, knowledge of people. These are good things. So I've had breakup trauma. I've had back surgeries, trauma from back surgeries that I had to overcome, trauma from Lyme disease, 2 years of hell trying to overcome that and finding a way to overcome it, spending 7 months trying to just diagnose myself and figure out what was wrong with me. It took about 7 months. But the person I became in that process, I gained an extensive knowledge of supplements and herbs and holistic treatments, IVs. I understand what ozone is and vitamin C IVs, and I understand the immune system a lot better now. I understand stealth microorganisms. I understand viruses and bacteria much better. I know what foods I'm a little sensitive to. I just gained an immense understanding through this trial, and I wouldn't have gained this understanding without the trial happening to me. I'm not saying I want more diseases like Lyme disease. Like, no, like I'm not seeking to have severe trials like that, but I know life is uncomfortable and life will provide trials and challenges. And, I'm sure there'll be more in the future. I had struggles finishing college. I had a divorce. I was bullied as a youngster because I was just such a peaceful kid. So I'm sure I was an easy target because of that, because people felt like I wouldn't retaliate. So it's like, oh, I can flick his ear. He's just a quiet, peaceful boy, so I can do that, or I can say what I want to him. And it was true back then in school. I didn't do anything. I didn't retaliate because I believed in being peaceful. And I see things a little differently now. As an adult, it's a little different. It's not like you're going to school with kids and it's a little bit, you have a little bit more freedom, and you can just remove yourself from a situation with someone pretty easily as an adult. But I do know now that if I get pushed or threatened in my physical space, or someone doesn't stop, if a bully came and didn't stop, that I have some tools to navigate the situation. Like, I just have some tools now and some skills and knowledge of it that gives me confidence that I can handle it, and I wouldn't just need to sit there and take it. So that's good. That's wonderful. And if I had some sons, which I don't, I have 2 daughters. I have no sons, but even my daughters, I think it's important to teach them this as well. I can teach them how to handle situations with bullies and threatening situations. But certainly my childhood has some trauma from that. So all these traumas and the challenge of continuing to build up my career and raise my children, my 2 daughters, and continuing to push myself with yoga and martial arts. And I continue to go dancing, even though it's not at the Westerner anymore. Thankfully, the group of people that dances, there's new venues we're going to. So I went dancing this past Wednesday, and it was awesome. It was at a place called Classic Skating, a giant skating rink floor, way bigger than the Westerners, and it was fun. I loved it. Dancing is a challenge for me, even after all these last few years. It's a challenge to maintain pace with the song and pay attention to the beat and try to connect with the person I'm dancing with, and to keep my movements kind of more fluid instead of just jumping around and making it a better experience for me and the person I'm dancing with. And that's still a challenge for me. So I like the challenge of that. But if you've experienced traumas in your life and you're still here and you've overcome them, I'm willing to bet that you learned some valuable skills that help you, so that the next time a thing happens, it's not going to be traumatic. Like, I'm not afraid of breakups. Uh, I I lost my fear of breakups kind of. I think it was 2017 when I had a breakup with a girlfriend who broke up with me, and that was hard. It took a good month and a half. We weren't together very long, but I knew her for about a year and a half, and I got over that, and I kind of discovered my own strength from within after that. And the breakup this year was hard, and I survived. I'm still here. So I'm like, man, I can get through the most egregious and difficult heartbreak. I've survived the most difficult disease and plague in my body. I've survived getting bullied and threatened. So I'm like, I have some resilience and some capability in me. It gives me confidence in my skills and capability. And, I would say don't go seeking trauma. Push yourself proactively. I think for any man, learning martial arts and how to shoot guns is valuable. Learn some survival skills. Learn some self-defense. I've done sparring in my martial arts dojo, and that was an eye-opening thing. Like, for the first time, actually kind of boxing and fighting with someone, not at full speed, but experiencing that kind of stress and pressure was good. Like, it helped me get a feel for what it would be like to be in a fight. And I don't want to be in a fight, but wouldn't it be better if you got pushed into a situation where you had to fight, if you had a lot of experience under your belt of what it's like versus never doing it? It just gives you confidence. And so to any young man or older, middle-aged or beyond man, because I'm middle-aged, I'm 44, go start a martial art. It doesn't matter what it is: karate, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing. Just learn to use your body as a tool and as a weapon in defense, and lift weights and push and lift weights. Like, I push and lift weights a few times a week, and I'm making progress since I don't know how long I've been tracking it, 4 months now. Like, my bicep curls is an example. I think I was starting at about 30 or 35 pound weights for 10 to 12 curls, and now I can do 45 pound weights, 10 to 12 curls. And my maximum, I think, was 45 to 50 pounds for like 1 to 3 reps. And now my maximum is 60 pounds. And I'm like, I can curl a 60 pounder a few times now. And that's just after 4 or 5 months. So if I keep at it, that should get to 70 pounds. Maybe by the end of the year, I'll be at 70 pounds for my maximum curl. And I can see it. I can see my body slowly growing and adapting and getting stronger. Like, when you lift weights, that's what's happening. You're creating trauma in your body. You're exerting major force on your muscles and your tissues in your body, and they break down, and they've got to come back and respond and adapt. And they do that by growing stronger. Like, you're putting this pressure on it. I need to build back stronger so I can handle this again. It's the same concept with this callus on my knuckle. Like, when I go to the heavy bag, I'm punching it bare knuckle. Like, I don't want to put on boxing gloves. I want to feel that pressure on my knuckles, and it's kind of a signature or mark to me of the change that happened to me this year. For the first time in my life, I have confidence in my ability to defend myself, and that confidence will continue to grow as I spend more and more time learning the martial arts. It's only just over 3 months that I've been doing it now, and really, like, 2 or 3 of those weeks were out with a torn hamstring. So I'm just a greenie. I'm just a newbie. In another year or 2 or 3, as I get more fluid and skilled, that confidence will go up, and that confidence will help me avoid fights, I think, versus getting into them. It's an important thing. One day I do want to get into another connective relationship, and I'd like to be able to walk around with my woman and just look at her and say, I got you. Like, I can handle whatever might come our way. I'll seek to diffuse any situation first, but if I have to, I can defend you, whether it's with a gun or with my arms and legs and head and body and knees. Like that's valuable to me. I think you can be strong and powerful as a man. You can be physically strong, and I think that's important, is to tap into your body's full potential physically. That's why I lift weights regularly and do the yoga and martial arts. Like, what's the maximum capability this body has? And I think that's important. But I also think it's important for a man to be able to be open and honest and vulnerable and truthful, and to feel emotions. This world kind of teaches us not to feel as men, that if we do, we're not going to be an alpha male. We're not going to be desired by a woman because we're crying and we're weak. And I'm not saying as a man to go cry and be like a baby or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But if you're in an experience and you are sad, let yourself be sad. Like, shit, we're all humans. Let yourself be sad and cry. And if you're with a woman and she's grossed out or turned off by that, then you should have a breakup with that woman immediately, in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't be with that woman if she can't handle you and your truth. And the same thing with you to her. You should be able to handle her crying. As a man, it's okay to get angry. I don't believe in getting angry at people. Like, if I get angry, I go to the gym and I kick the hell out of the heavy bag. I kick it. And I kick it as hard as I can, and I feel those gunshot-like kicks on the heavy bag, and that anger is channeled into that bag. And after an hour, I'm exhausted and I'm good. I just punch and kick the heavy bag. That's my way of letting my anger out. But yeah, our bodies are very interesting. Our bodies and minds. We will grow and adapt and evolve based on the trauma we feel. And it's not just me, it's every human. We all have this capability. Everyone. And I see it happening with people. It's a beautiful thing. The ability to adapt, evolve, grow stronger, be better. It's an incredible thing. So for the men watching this, don't be afraid of difficult and uncomfortable situations. Welcome them. Challenge yourself. Especially young men, I think, have a period of time with great energy and zest and vitality. That's a time in your life, in your 18 to 25, that you just have unlimited energy and power to wield, and use it to do lots of things. That's not a time to be sitting on your couch eating chips watching Netflix. That's a time to be going balls to the wall and really challenging yourself in all areas. So anyways, we're almost 24 minutes into this video, and I still feel like a young man learning and growing in life. I don't have everything figured out, but I'm on the path and I'm learning some things. And I've got some years of experience and situations and understandings under my belt, so to speak. And as the years go by, I'll get more, and I'll keep working at all of it. In another few weeks, I'll do another martial arts video. I feel like I'll have made enough progress that I'll show you some things, some more than just side kicks. I'll show you some punches, some punch combinations, some kicks, some kick drills, side kicks, roundhouse kicks, some Muay Thai kicks. So I've learned a little bit about Muay Thai as well. That's an intriguing martial art to me, even though I don't take any lessons on it. Learning to kick powerfully in Muay Thai is very powerful. I've seen some people kick, like one kick from someone who's like done tens of thousands or more kicks of a snapping kick with their leg on your leg. It's gonna like chop down a tree, basically. Like, it's pretty impressive. So I'm learning that as well. And yeah, that's my video for today. Trauma is important for men to become better men. Trauma and challenge make men better. I truly believe this. You know, it's not like it's easy or anything. Like, discomfort's no fun, pain is no fun, difficulty's no fun, but it's like, do you want the pain of discipline now and the pleasure later from the rewards of it, or do you want to just be comfortable and lazy now and get pleasure now and get pain later from not evolving and adapting to life? So I continue to work on choosing the pain now and the pleasure later. All right, that's my video for today. 25 minutes. Dang, I haven't done a video this long in a while, but want to send some shout outs to people who have sent some comments. I did a video on my near-death experience and got a lot more views than I thought I would get on that. I thought it would just be the standard 30 to 50 views, but it's gotten about 400 views and got some good comments on it. Patricia Gilde Rubio, I don't know if that's how you say your name, but appreciate you stopping by and sharing your comments. It seems like you've had some experience or know some people with experience in twin flame situations. Really, a twin flame situation is simply to me, it's an opening up of ourselves. We meet someone, and that person's role in our life is to open us up and to reveal things about us that we can work on if we choose to do so. So it's to help us evolve and become a more magnificent being in this world. And the process can be very disrupting, very difficult, very traumatizing, very challenging, very sad, very depressing, all of it. But if you use the experience as a tool, as a way to look deeply and inwardly within yourself, you will grow in ways you could not have otherwise grown unless you met that person. That's the most powerful thing about that twin flame experience, is that a person came along and helped you grow in a way you couldn't do so by yourself, or that most other people could never provide for you. So that's something to think about when you think about that kind of an experience. So it's a blessing, and yes, it's a curse in that it's difficult, but the blessing is you'll become the most strongest version of yourself you've ever been, a better version, if you'll look inwardly and take all the things that about yourself that were shown, that a big light was shown on, and say, all right, I have these things to work on. And so what were the things that I had to work on? Well, I became, many years ago, when I got cracked open, I discovered, I'm a little needy. I'm being a little codependent. I'm not generating a sense of strength and source of energy from within. I'm looking for other people to provide this for me. Just things like that I learned. And I learned to course correct that and generate my own sense of self and joy and energy from within first. That's probably the most potent lesson I've learned from it. And that trauma made all that possible. But that's the way I see it. Like, life is kind of how we alchemize it and change it for our good. So anyways, appreciate your comment. Appreciate the comments on my near-death experience video, and I'm grateful I'm still alive. And I'm now going to end this video at about 29 minutes. So if you watched it to the end of this video, awesome, good for you. You are a student of reality, and much appreciation. Namaste. I'll see you in the next video.